We're here at the Grass Valley Air Attack Base doing some running. Catch my breath here. Switch it around one more time. And up. Here we go. All right. We're at the Grass Valley Air Attack Base live. We've got a new fire that started over by Bullard's Bar Reservoir right over here just a couple hours ago. We're working currently 3 S2Ts like Tanker 9.6 that you're looking at right now here out of the Grass Valley Air Attack Base. We got Tanker 8.3 about ready to depart. Oregon House, thanks. Yeah, very close to Oregon House. Anybody out there know the size up on this fire yet? It started out as just very small. Let's see. So we got Tanker 8.8, Tanker 8.9, Tanker 9.3, and Tanker 1.5. Stand by, listen to this. Now watch how much runway he uses. Man, that's a slow roll. And rotate. Get to the end, there he goes. All right, fully loaded. Probably about 1,000 gallons of retardant. They're capable of 1,200 gallons of retardant. Yeah, he is loaded. The temperatures are not too bad here right now in the upper 80s. He just did a hot load and returned to the fire. Yeah, that's right. That could very well be Abby in that tanker. And so to recap, let me spin this back around here. So looking at the Flight Radar 24, you guys can jump on the Flight Radar 24 and see what's going on with the air show over this latest fire over Bullard's Bar, Oregon House area. As far as the air show, we got Air Attack 230 orbiting overhead. The fire, that's our, I'm not jumping out of Greider's DC-3. I'll fly the thing, but I ain't jumping out of it. Air Attack 230 orbiting overhead the fire. And then we got the 3 S2Ts, 9.3, 8.8, and 8.9. And Tanker 1.5, the BAE 146 out of Neptune Aviation, loading and returning out of Chico, California. The fire activity here and the air activity is very busy here in Northern California. These are August or September like firefighting conditions that we're seeing here towards the end of July. Check your sound. Is the sound coming through okay, you guys? Can you hear me? Aaron says he can't hear me. Turn your volume up, Aaron. Get your hearing aids. Sound is fine, thanks. So out of McClellan Air Force Base, the heavy air tankers are operating right now. The MAFs are operating. That's the Modular Airborne Firefighting Fleet of C-130s. And they're mostly working the Dixie Fire, which is also just beyond to the north of Bullard's Bar Reservoir up there in the Feather River Canyon. So the Dixie Fire, another Lightning Strike Forest Service, the Dixie Fire is another PG&E fire. And PG&E's been out there talking about the problems they're having. This is North Fork of the Feather River. This is near where the Paradise Fire started. And now they're burning out what's left of the North Fork of the Feather River. And these fires are all being driven by the Delta breeze. That's why we got such clear air here today. No smoke here. In fact, I can see all the way down to the Sutter Buttes down there. Because the Delta breeze is coming in from the Bay Area. It's cooling things off. And it's providing a pretty good push, a fair push to these fires. It's no extreme wind or extreme temperatures right now, but even with these moderate conditions, we're seeing extreme fire behavior because of the dry conditions. We flip this around. The dry conditions here, everything's just dry as a bone out here. All those trees, underneath all those trees out there, just dry, dry, dry. So a lot of air tanker activity on that Dixie Fire. It's pushing north. It's pushing north towards Belden Town, one of our favorite destinations on motorcycle riding. I think it's surrounded the little tavern there. So far, Belden Town is still there. It's pushing up into the High Lakes area. If you go way back into the Blanco Lirio archives, you can see a great, when I first bought that 2013 KTM 350, I headed up into a fantastic adventure into the beautiful High Lakes area. Well, this Dixie Fire is heading up there as well. It's smoking out completely Lake Almanor and heading towards and threatening Lake Almanor. Over here to this direction here, a little bit east and southeast, is the Tamarack Fire, and that's pretty well surrounded and clobbered all the outside of Markleyville, the tiny little hamlet of Markleyville. Yeah, tell me about the smoke and haze on the route back to Oshkosh. Wisconsin is totally hazy. What's the visibility that you guys are having all the way out there in Wisconsin and Kansas and Michigan from all these fires? Now, these aren't all California fires. Of course, these are Oregon fires as well. Oregon, what's the name of that fire up in Oregon that's so huge right now? The Butler Fire or something. It's creating a huge smoke plume and sending that air back, that bad air back east. So it's not just a California thing. It's all throughout the West. And I also want to mention our friends up in British Columbia, Canada. I've got some Blanco Lirio viewers up there that are reminding me that, look, they've burned over 1 million acres already in BC, British Columbia, Canada. So they're experiencing this terrible forest fire season burning as well. So all throughout the West here, we're seeing August or September firefighting or fire conditions in late July. No new update on the Arizona crash. Wow, he was your CFI. Wow. The bootleg, that's it, bootleg fire. And see, the comments are coming fast. Yeah, super hazy. We got the moon coming up already. Hey, thanks, new subscribers. Killeen, Texas. Where'd that moon go? There it is, right back over there. So we got a nice clear sky here right now, but if this wind turns around and subsides back downhill, we're going to get smoked out. But right now it's mostly all pushing east and clobbering the entire rest of the country with all this smoke and haze. So the plan is to get going to the ACCA's, the Aviation Content Creators Award Ceremony, is this weekend at Whiteside County Airport. I'm going to be there by Friday, maybe even Thursday night at the earliest, and enjoy a weekend at the ACCA's. And I'm going to be doing this. I'm just live feeding for the rest of the month here. I'm going live, so stay tuned for a whole bunch of these little live feeds as we come upon these interesting situations. They got one of the Cal Fire Blackhawks firing up down below there. This local fire also has several helicopters on it. Yeah, and then after the ACCA's, I plan on going on up to Oshkosh and bringing the whole family too. So they'll get to experience this for the first time as well. So that'll be fun and interesting. So if you can get up there, come on up and say hi. I'll be around. And if you can't, just stay tuned and I'll be posting all kinds of live feeds like this. Another breaking news story. I've been volunteered to help with the color commentary, so to speak, of the Stoll demonstration, the Hold My Beer 8 o'clock best show on earth air show at Oshkosh at the Ultralight Field, the Stoll demonstration. So I'll be doing the color commentary there, helping out. I think there's going to be another air show announcer that's a professional. And we'll be doing that Stoll demo every night of the week at Oshkosh except for Wednesday night and of course Sunday night. Nothing's going on Sunday. So that's the lineup for the weekend here. It looks like tanker 9.6 is getting some fuel. The fuel situation here has been okay so far. I haven't got an update, but as you saw from my previous update, it's been a very delicate dance with getting fuel, aviation fuel. It's a shortage of refinery workers, I don't think it's a shortage of fuel as much as it's more of a logistics and transportation problem, and drivers. They're having a hard time getting the hazmat drivers to ensure these fuel deliveries. So for those of you that are flying around looking for, trying to get out to Oshkosh, you gotta call ahead and flight plan to make sure that your destination actually has fuel, because A lot of these airports that normally have fuel don't, avgas specifically. 5 to 7 miles. So was that 5 to 7 miles visibility? What's the visibility like out there in the Midwest? Do we got at least 3 miles? The problem with these AWAS systems is they cannot accurately measure wildfire smoke, in my experience. So the AWAS always says, oh, it's fine, 10 miles visibility, when out here we could have 1.5 mile slant range visibility in the smoke, and the automatic weather reporting station will tell you that it's 10 miles. So let me know out there what you're seeing for visibility. 6 statute miles. Rockford, wow, 6. Haze broken, 5,000 feet. 1/3 of a mile or less where in Minnesota? Holy smokes. That's bad. Okay, here, all right, we got him the OV-10's coming back. This is good news. The either he's out of gas or maybe the fire is settling down. Air Attack 230, the Bronco, is coming in. We'll turn around and take a look at that. Get this thing to work correctly here. Is that the correct amount of zoom? It's just a dot up there on the downwind pattern. So this is the OV-10 Bronco spotter plane for CAL FIRE. Unfortunately, this shot's going to be right into the sun. Thanks. Yeah, OV-10 Bronco is really the best job for observation on these firefighting gigs, especially low level, because it's one of the few planes that was specifically designed for this kind of a mission. Yeah, I should get my scanner out. You know what works good for a scanner is Broadcastify. Get Broadcastify and get your local jurisdiction up, and you'll hear most of this chatter. And I might be able to get an update if these guys are going to stop for fuel, or if they're going to stop for the night. I'll be able to get an update, and if there's an interesting update, I can pass it on to you. Lots of tankers in the air on Flight Radar 24. I should pull up my 4 miles visibility in New York. Golly. Bad smoke in Ohio, yeah. Okay, swing it around. It's kind of right into the sun. Sorry about that, but that's just the direction I'm standing right now. OV-10 Bronco on final, nice curving final. Let me zoom in a little bit here for you if I don't shake it up. Joseph, Oregon, smoked in. That's just sad. That's some beautiful country up there. Don't blow it, Brownie. Hang on to the OV-10. Boom, right on the numbers. Good job. That's probably Jeff flying today. Jeff and I do a lot of off-road riding when he's around and the conditions are not so dang hot. 2 of them in reverse. Trailing link landing gear. He's got it stopped in a very short distance. We'll see if we can get Jeff to wave at us today. No smoke in Louisville. Okay, that's a good sign. You should ask some. Let me get my glasses back on here. It's about 20 miles. I'm about 20 miles from Oshkosh. Clear, not 100%, but it's a little hazy. That's good. Good sign. All right. Twin Cities, smoke in the block that I live on. All right. Missouri's okay. Hazy in the upper. Smoke in New Jersey. About a Mighty Luscombe with a 90. Good airplane. Good job. It's going to get really loud here. These things run at nearly 100%. Hoser, yeah. The Hoser. This is his home airport. Jet's coming in real slow for you. Oh, that's a different pilot today. That don't look like Jeff. So that was your air attack officer in the back seat doing the fire coordination overhead the fire. If you guys can look up on Flight Radar 24 and see, push that air attack 230 button and see if there's any more tanker activity over the Oregon House area. He's going to go down and park in the ramp down below the tankers, as I think they're going to anticipate 3 S2Ts returning here to Nevada County. Yeah. The Garretts are on the S2Ts. I forget exactly what's on the Bronco, and I should know that. But they do. Tanker 88 and 93 still on the fire. Okay. Is there a different air attack ship over the fire right now? Is the air attack out of Chico relieving air attack 230? 410 Delta Fox. Okay. So, all right. So 410 Delta Fox, the other air attack, is taken over for 230. So these guys are either taking a fuel break or a timeout break. Yeah, firefighting budget is that's a big part of the problem why we're here today. They spend all the money fighting the fires instead of preventing the fires. TPE 3031s, to look that up. So you run the engines at 100% and you use the props to control your thrust, and that gives you instant thrust when you need it. Well, I can stick around with the live feed if you want to see the tankers coming back for a landing. Otherwise, we can wrap this thing up here. Yeah. No smoke above Alta. All right. Okay, you want to stay with the feed here for a bit? What I could do is go get my iPad here, and I should have been a little more organized to have that right here. Palm Springs 111, Columbus, Ohio. Happy Camp Hell Attack. All right, on station. All right. All right, let's keep her rolling here. So they're fueling up 9.6. I'm gonna wander over here and try and, actually, can I do it from here without screwing it up? I probably would screw it all up. Mapper 501 over the Tamarack fire. We're hopefully all going to be heading out there together if everything works right. 103 in Imperial, California. All right, guys, look up there on the, you guys track this for me. Look up on the Flight Radar 24 and let me know what, where is 89 and 89 and 88 and 93. Are they coming back? Have they made their drop yet? 100 yards from your place. This one over here by Organ House. Wow. Okay, 93 and 88 are orbiting the fire still. All right. Well, maybe they're, hopefully with the end of the day, 88 on the way back. Okay, good. We'll have some landing action here in a minute. With the end of the day here and the light winds, 5 miles out, he's going to take fuel and retardant. So that means he's going to have to shut down. Now, it doesn't say whether he's going to go back out again. But with this, let me spin this around here. But with this being the end of the day now, I would hope that this particular fire in Organ House will not go into extended attack. I would hope that this fire will be fairly well contained by tonight and not go into an extended attack tomorrow. I don't see the conditions to push it into that. And with this heavy initial attack, which is what CAL FIRE does so well, and what the Forest Service doesn't have the resources to do, they can successfully keep this small fire small by hopefully boxing it in with some retardant, or at least those parts that they can get to help slow the advance of the fire, and then allow the ground crews the time they need to get the hand line drawn around the fire and get it pretty well contained, hopefully by tonight. I'll get the full scoop from these guys later on this evening as to how that played out and if that's indeed the case. Well, in this case, why do they fly the aircraft just in the evening? In this case, this fire only started late this afternoon. So they call it the bewitching hour, you know, the 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when your probability of ignition, what do they call that, POI, is nearly 100%. That means if you drop 100 matches, you'll get 100 starts, I believe is how they measure that. Yeah, I'm still flying. I'm back with the airlines on the 777. I've cleared my schedule a bit for the rest of this month to make room for Oshkosh and the ACCAs. and we're listening and waiting for the return of the tankers, and we'll watch a couple landings here before signing off. 8-8, coverage level 8. Okay, good. Somebody's got the scanner on. Coverage level 8. Okay, so it sounds like they're up in the timber then to get coverage level 8. That means 8 gallons per 100 square feet is the technical term for that, but it's a pretty thick amount of retardant to penetrate heavy foliage. Like that kind of foliage right there, you'd want coverage level 8 or more in those kind of trees to penetrate that foliage. If you were just dealing with grass like this down here, you could cut that way back to 3 or 4. Full load. Okay, sounds like they're still hammering it. Fires in Siberia going crazy too. It gets hot in Siberia. I spent some time in August in Ulan-Ude, Siberia, back in my 141 days, and it was hotter than hell up there, right by Lake Baikal. I was amazed how hot and mosquito-y it was up there, way up there in Siberia. So how come that CAL FIRE helicopter hadn't blasted off yet? Let's see, I missed that last comment there. Yeah, MAFS 8 and Tanker 911 northbound out of McClellan. They're going to be blasting off to the Dixie Fire. Big air show coming up at Pease. Let me pull some of these down here. Northwestern Ontario, Canada fire. So it's not just BC. You're getting it over there throughout Canada. Yeah, this is definitely not like your regular news broadcast. 8-9 almost in sight. Be looking for him in the overhead pattern here at Nevada County. CAL FIRE's always hiring, I do believe. 4 more months of fire danger. Brisbane, Australia. Is ACC going on to Sunday afternoon? It'll probably be winding down a bit on Sunday afternoon, as folks will be anxious to head on up to Oshkosh. There goes the CAL FIRE Blackhawk. Do this again. There he goes. That was neat, right through the sun. Got a little shadow out of him. So he shoots that low pattern out of here, below the pattern altitude of everybody else. We got Tanker 9-6 is going back for more. So yeah, this fire is still, dare I say, shitting and a getting, it sounds like, as they're having to continue to work it. They've got time until very close to sunset for cutoff. Wow, 1,000 people watching. So we'll get to watch Tanker 9-6 blast off here again with another heavy load of retardant. This runway is almost 4,000 feet long, and it slopes downhill to the direction you're looking at. So that's why they land uphill this way to save the brakes, and they got to take off downhill that way. Let me swing the camera around here and show you. As you go up this way, you go into rising terrain and those trees up in there, so that's no bueno. So even if there's a tailwind situation, which is pretty common for landing on 7, they're going to prefer to land on 7. This is going to get real loud as 9-6 taxis by with these Garretts. See how flat those props are? Just almost dead flat, just enough to pull the aircraft forward with the engines running at nearly 100% RPM. Okay, we got another tanker in the pattern over here. He's just entering on the downwind. Let's see if he does an overhead or a standard pattern. See where his hands are? Could you see he's going to taxi out. Let's see what this other tanker does. This is an uncontrolled airport, so they're just talking to each other on the Unicom frequency. And the other tanker's just coming out of the sun right now. It looks like the other tanker is going to do just a left base entry and come on in and land here on 7. He's not going to bother with a full overhead approach. So it looks like the landing tanker over here, hang on to your hats there as I swing this camera around wildly. Whoops. God dang it, Brownie. Now you did it. Hold it still. There we go. So is that 8-9 we're looking at on the final approach here to, yeah, this is Gvaab, Grass Valley, California, my hometown airport. That's the Sutter Buttes we're looking off in the distance. And tanker 8-9 on short final. Wow, Philip, thanks, man. And watch how precise they touch this thing down on the numbers there. Boom, 2 puffs of white smoke. Get her into reverse. Hear it? Wow, look how short. Good job. They do make it look easy, and it's not. This is a really small airport for these big airplanes. South Africa. Zoom back out here. Yeah, it's like a stole competition, huh? So he's gonna hit this turnoff right here. So he wants to land short so he can hit this turnoff here. See the other tanker already lining up to blast off? He's clear. Hot reload, yeah, unless he's gonna get gas. Here goes the other tanker blasting off. Oh, this is great. Jumps on a dime and it sure takes to take off. There he goes, he's got it. There we go. He's out of here. Good. So did you see here in, what was that, 8-9? You see we got 2 crew members on 8-9? So they're training up another air tanker pilot here in tanker 8-9. So we got an instructor pilot on board this aircraft. So yeah, CAL FIRE is always training up. Yeah, air tankers are much larger. They do come in much larger sizes. These are our very critical initial attack air tankers here in Northern California. These guys are only 1,200 gallons, but these guys are critical to making keeping small fires small. Okay, check it out. So we got a hot load going on. So they're keeping the engines running while they load the aircraft with another 1,000 gallons of retardant. 2 3s in a pattern. Oh yeah, I see them now. Wow, they're dropping like flies out of the sky. Let's stay on this reload here for now. So normally they do an overhead pattern to land, but today with where the fire is, and the fire being fairly close to the airport, they're just doing a kind of a downwind base leg entry. So what number do we got coming inbound? Oh yeah, you were asking, somebody's asking, is this close to the house? No, not too close, but it's not too far away either. 9.6 in orbit. Yeah, these are Grumman S2s, submarine chasers, converted to S2Ts. All right, tanker on final. Is it a tanker? I can't tell. Yeah, another S2. How often do they have to fuel up? It depends how far away the fire is, but they can go. Well, that's the air. Isn't that the air attack aircraft on final? Let's see. What is that? We'll know here in a second. Yeah, that looks like one of the Aero Commanders. One of the one of the Forest Service air attack aircraft. Rockwell Turbo Commander 690B, that's right. Air Attack 17, this is the guy that gave me the pictures of the Bodad fire. Sorry about that. There we go. It's gonna get even noisier now. I gotta get my earplugs in, boys. The Aero Commander also makes a great air attack platform. Oh no, 8-9's shutting down. All right. Lots of room and comfort for the air attack officer in these Aero Commanders. All right, we got away from him. This is better than the old Jerry at Big Jet TV, huh, boys? Yeah, they are so noisy. It gets to smelling like a lot of jet fuel up here. And he's going to park right over here in the corner where he lives. That's right. Loading port is right to the rear there. So he does a real good job just stuffing that thing right in the corner there. So leaving enough room on the ramp for everybody else. All right, 8-9, what's 8-9 doing there? Is he calling it a day? There goes one of the pilots saying, I've had enough of this, I'm out of here. And we got one pilot left in the aircraft. I think he's gonna fire up and get going. The smell-o-vision chat, yeah, just, no, that pilot's stepping back. Just open up a can of turbine fuel and burn it, and that's what you got for smell-o-vision here today. Here we got a civilian aircraft coming in on 2-5. So being an uncontrolled airport here at Nevada County, we still mix it up with the general aviation, the rest of us. And it looks and sounds like a Mooney or a Blanca on final. Looks like a blanket from here. What does it sound like, boys? Blanca Super Viking. Oh yeah. Beautiful. 1730A, that's right. Wood wing, fabric covered, very slick airplane. So normally most of us land on runway 25, even though it's downhill because the winds favor 25 generally. But right now we got almost calm winds. All right, let me know what's going on the flight tracker there, boys. We got more air tankers inbound from the Oregon house fire. Okay, this is the home base only for tanker 88, tanker 89, air attack 230, and air attack 17. That's who lives here full time. And of course we have a number of initial attack S2T CAL fire bases located throughout the state. To the south of us is the Columbia Airport Air Attack Base, and to the north of us is Chico Air Attack Base. Yeah, Air Attack 17 is U.S. Forest Service, so we got a U.S. Forest Service Air Attack officer, and that's Todd right now with the green helmet bag. So he's probably been up working the larger Forest Service fires, while the S2Ts are working initial attack on these smaller, more local fires. And there is there's no forest, well, I don't know if there's a Forest Service air attack at Chico. I don't think so. I think the next base for that would be Chester, California. CAL FIRE is focused here in California. They will do mutual aid nearby to Nevada and Oregon as needed, primarily here in California. This airport is Nevada County Airport, Grass Valley, California. Kilo Golf Oscar Oscar, my hometown airport, where I learned to grow up, where I grew up and learned to fly here as a kid. I lived on a Dad was a gentleman farmer after the Aerojet space race days, and bought him and another engineer bought a 100-acre ranch just on the downwind runway 25 here. And so I was the indentured servant on the Dad's Christmas tree farm project. And to escape the boredom of the Christmas tree farming, we'd pedal our little bicycles up the hill here to Nevada County Airport and hang around here and do the exact same thing I'm doing right here today, watching the air show during these forest fires and learning all about aviation in the process. Of course, back in those days, it was like World War II all over again. We had based here, we had two F7Fs, 2,800 powered F7Fs, tanked up with, what were they, about 800-gallon tanks. They used O2s, Cessna Skymasters, instead of the OV-10. They even had some TBM, single engine air tankers, at the time. And then when the fires broke out, you would see even B-17s into this tiny little runway. It was much shorter then, maybe a little over 3,000 feet. B-17s, PBYs, B-25s, all of these were converted military air tankers. Down at the other end of the runway was Cal Nat Airways, and that was a Bob Stevenson operation that converted World War II aircraft into air tankers. And that conversion was going on right down here at the end of this runway, and that was one of the main, well, that was really the only going concern here at Grass Valley Airport at that time. And the little air attack base was located fairly close to here. It was just a dirt operation with that steel matting for a surface. And so that I was just hooked on aviation after that. I mean, boy, that was coming up and seeing that, and then hanging out and talking with these guys. And then I ended up down here at Ralph Ponty's place, where Ralph was another pioneer air tanker back when the S2s had radial engines. In fact, he was back in the F7F days, and even the N3N biplanes. And he developed a shop right down below here where he would take the old air tankers and reconvert them back into warbirds. So Ralph started out at CalNat converting warbirds to tankers, and then started his own business later on, taking the old air tankers and turning them back into warbirds. So some of the TBMs that you see around the air show circuit, and B-25s and B-17s, a lot of them you'll see, well, they had Forest Service history on them. And this was one of the places where they got converted back into an air tanker. And so I went to work there as a kid and got a real firsthand experience of working on those neat old aircraft and radial engines out in the blistering heat and sun all day. It was it was quite a great experience. Things are getting quieter here. Is what's going on the on the Flight Radar 24. Density altitude, I'd have to look it up right now, but it's not too bad. It's not, it's probably in the middle 80s right now, mid 80s. And the tankers are still on the scene. I wonder if I should go over there and show you Marlowe's place. We got the hangar door up on the EAA hangar over there, so they're off at the end of the runway, and so that's the signal to come on in for a refreshment at the end of the day here at Nevada County Airport. Was that 96 and 88 are still circling the fire? Okay, who covers BLM fires? BLM people and Forest Service, and sometimes CAL FIRE too. BLM typically uses a lot of seats, single engine air tankers. That was the point I was going to make about single engine air tankers here in California. We've talked about this before. Remember I told you back here in the day when it looked like World War II, fighting these old warbirds, fighting these wildfires, and they used TBMs, I mean the old torpedo bombers from World War II, and those things, single engine, of course they would have their engine failures and crash. And so eventually CDF at the time, before CAL FIRE, said, okay, no more single engine air tankers. We only want multi-engine air tankers like F7Fs and S2s and and that sort of thing. And so that was the moratorium on single engine air tankers that unfortunately still holds to this day at CAL FIRE, even though today's single engine air tanker is a far cry from a World War II TBM. You take a Fireboss or one of these turbine powered ag airplanes and convert it to, well, these are specifically built for, Air Tractor 802s, specifically built for firefighting, and it's a hell of a good piece of equipment. And well, I don't know where CAL FIRE is with their restriction on single engine air tankers, but I'll tell you, we had a great story here just last year when the Jones fire popped, one of the fires closest to here that we've had in years. We just happened to have two BLM seats. I think they were BLM. They just happened to be here at Nevada County overnight because they were moving from one place to another. And between those two seats and our two S2Ts, they ran full time on that fire and really saved the day and stopped that fire from getting into town because it was heading right into town. So I would like to see more use of single engine air tankers here in California. Yep, still heading to Oshkosh, and that was the earlier update on this. Update is blasting off for the ACCA awards this weekend, and Oshkosh to follow. Should be bringing the whole family out there. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Come on out and say hi if you can, and if you can't, I'm going to be doing nothing but live broadcasts for the rest of the month here. I don't have time to edit anything, so we're just going live for the rest of the month, anytime, every time we see something interesting. So smash that like and subscribe button. Speaking of notifications, I get this all the time. You got to hit the subscribe button, and on that subscribe button, hit the bell that says notifications all. Set your notifications to all if that's what you want, so that hopefully you'll be notified anytime one of these live feeds pops up, and you'll be able to join the conversation live. Of course, once the live feed is done, it'll be saved for posterity on YouTube, but it's always a lot more fun to come watch the event live here on YouTube. Tanker 96 inbound. Should we stick around for 96? Watch one more landing? Yeah, state of mind. You know, Flight Chops, what did he say? What did Flight Chops say? Let's slip that. Oh, that's top secret information. I don't know if that can be trusted or not. Remember, the Scrappy video series is about a month behind on the video content as to where they actually are with that project. So we'll have to see what old Mike Patey's up to. Oshkosh has been something that I never could really afford the time or the money to go do until now. And so now I've been able to just drop trips. I can never, as an airline pilot, you have no control over your vacation schedule at all whatsoever. After 23 years with the company, I still get my vacations in the middle of freaking February and January. So now, with the help of YouTube and your support, I'm able to just drop trips for no pay and just create my own break or my own schedule, my own little mini vacation to get out there to go see things like Oshkosh and the ACCA awards. So this will only be my second time ever to Oshkosh. 96 still on the scene? All right. Yeah, I don't hear anybody else. Take a look on Flight Radar. Anybody inbound? Anybody inbound there? The sun's starting to set starting to get a nice sunset here. Maps return to McClellan. Yeah, folks are going to have to start heading for home here soon as we get close to cutoff, as the sun slowly sinks in the west. We're all orbiting. Hold on. Let's see. Back this up. 8896, 441, and 487 Delta Fox all orbiting. So 2 air attacks. I wonder if one of them is doing lead work. Only 2 or so of the OV-10s at the CAL FIRE level have lead qualifications. And so when you see 2 of those on a fire, you may be getting some lead. 96 and 88 orbiting. If you bid group 2, yeah. I've been thinking about that greener pasture. I was thinking, if I go back to the Air Best, man, I'd be number 2 FO on the whole list. I could bid any dang thing I wanted to for a substantial pay cut. And that's maybe for the lifestyle, that may be a thing to do. Alaska Airlines and Yeah, still circling. Really red sunsets from all the smoke, yeah. 9-6 and 8-8 still circling. All right, well, maybe, yeah, just hit the notifications bell. I don't know, can you do that separately from the subscription thing? I'm not sure, but you got to set your notifications to all if you want to stay tuned for all of these live broadcasts I'm going to be firing off probably daily, maybe even multiple times daily, as we get these really interesting stories, aviation stories going on at Oshkosh and the ACCAs. Career path look like for those guys who fly the heavy air tankers pretty good, but I tell you what, I think CAL FIRE's got the best contract going on right now, thanks to some of the guys right here at this air attack base that have worked so hard to get a reasonable contract. And the hardest thing they've been working on, thanks Alfred, the hardest thing they've been working on is quality of life. The big bummer about firefighting is that's your life. You're stuck doing that. Your summers are shot. You are getting no time off in the summer. Typically, those firefighters would work 6 days a week and get 1 day off. And that 1 day off would be at whatever base they happen to be at on day 6. So thanks to the hard work of some of these S2 pilots here and air attack pilots here at Grass Valley Air Attack Base and others, they're working a schedule that looks more like 10 days on, 5 days off, so you can actually have enough time to go out and do something with your family in the middle of fire season if they can get enough pilots to fill that schedule. And the kind of pilots they're looking for, of course, are guys with twin turbine PIC time to qualify for the insurance, and mountain flying, low-level experience. If you are a former firefighter, I found that as a lead plane guy, former firefighters made some of the best lead plane pilots there are, because they knew the science of fire, and the airplane was just a tool for fighting the fire. Do that again here, get that zoom correct. There we go. We got a mapping over the northern fire, okay. All right, looks like 8-9 is done for the evening, 230 is done for the evening. We'll see where the rest of the tankers end up. Wow, 1,477 still watching. There's nothing going on. I can drag this out until the other tankers show up here, but the sun is going down quickly. Well, GA crashes, I did sell the RZ. GA crashes do typically go up in the summertime as the weather's good and we're all getting out there and getting flying. No, I didn't see the Rutan Brothers thing. Hey, Mike. No, the CAL FIRE C-130s are not online yet. They desperately need them. Waiting for something to happen. Yes, this is Grass Valley Airport. If you're just tuned in to us, we had a pretty good fire breakout near Oregon House, California, near Bullard's Bar. And we had a number of air tankers here operating today out of Grass Valley Airport. And this will be the 2K run for fun. I don't know about that. That involves physical exertion in a climate that's much more humid than I'm used to out here in Northern California. Sitting in a hotel in San Francisco on another long layover. Jimmy Barnes. Oh, man. Yeah, God. Me and Jimmy Barnes. What a great... Anybody who knows Jimmy Barnes, it's an honor and a privilege to know him. He is the most well-spoken, well-written, he might look dumb, but he ain't kind of guy you ever met. He's just, and he survived an entire career fighting fires in the S2 program here for CAL FIRE, well over 20 years. And of course, he started out in the round engine S2s, which was even more hazardous. And we spent a lot of time hanging out together right there, just swapping lies and telling war stories right there on the deck of the CAL FIRE base. And boy, just a great individual So great to see and hear from him, even in his retirement. Yeah, I would air evac out of here. I would first think that if we had a fire overrun us here, um, I would think that maybe right here where I'm standing would be one of the safest places to be, rather than trying to do a scary evacuation out of here and get stuck in all that traffic. And then I've also thought, yeah, maybe just get in the airplane and air evac everybody out of here. Yeah, not much on the motorcycling front now because it's all airplanes, fly, fly, fly. Now that I got my medical back, that's all I'm doing is just airplanes, airplanes, airplanes. Yep, take care of them horses. Dang hay burners, they're worse than airplanes for time and money. C-130 Point Magoo, the Hollywood Guard is out at it. Wake up call at 10,000 feet. Was he waking everybody up, Dan, at 6 a.m.? Am I doing a forum at Oshkosh? No, let me repeat again what I said earlier. What the other breaking news story is at Oshkosh is that I've been volunteered to help with the Stoll demonstration narration, the color commentary, as they call it, for the Hold My Beer 8 o'clock air show, the best air show of Oshkosh. Every evening at 8 at the Ultralight Field, we'll be doing a Stoll demonstration, and I've been volunteered to help with the narrating of that. So that'll be a whole lot of fun, and hopefully I'll get some live broadcast of that, similar to what we did over at Sun and Fun. Hopefully there'll be enough bandwidth to do that live. The bandwidth here seems to be working really good and smoothly. Sometimes it can get really choppy on these live feeds, so sometimes I'll need to just record it and then broadcast it in its entirety unedited from the cell phone. He just dumped. Geez, they're taking their time dumping. So I wonder if the fire is getting well enough under control where they're really being able to get picky as to where they want to drop this retardant, because this is expensive, man. Every time you dump one of these, I don't know how many thousands of dollars you're talking. The millions and millions of dollars we're spending on aerial firefighting here is just staggering, and so you don't want to waste the resource, and so you want to use it effectively, and that's the whole job of the air attack. He's got to make that call. Where will I effectively drop this expensive retardant without just wasting it? And as they get towards the end of the fire there, they got to make some careful decisions with that. Yep, get packing. Me too. I got to get packing too. And I don't see, yeah, Pete should be here by now. Mom and Pete are supposed to be here. They got added extra bandwidth. Good. Tanker 9-1 back there. 9-6 is probably going back to Chico. And yeah, that Tamarack fire. Oh, man. You guys down there by Markleyville or beyond, that's, yeah, I would just get out of the way. Yeah, we have a problem with our escape routes here in Nevada County, like so much of the rest of the small mountain communities here in Northern California. 0% containment. Yeah, those numbers are a little behind. They'll get them updated soon here. Hopefully this fire will not go into extended attack tomorrow. Hopefully this fire will be done tonight. And that this initial attack, this heavy initial attack, was effective in keeping this small fire relatively small here. Oregon House, California, Northern California, Grass Valley Air Attack Base, Nevada County, California, my hometown. Thanks so much for watching this evening. Stay tuned for future updates, live updates. I'll be hitting them hard and heavy here the next couple of, well, all next week and the following week as well. So hit that notification bell to all if that's what you want to, if you want to stay up on these live feeds as they happen, because that's the way it's going to be rolling the next week or so. Thanks again so much for your support of this channel, and especially all of you over on Patreon that make all this content possible. We'll see you here. Pete, where are you? I need that off button. Are you sure you want to stop screaming? No, streaming.